Frosty, Heidi, and Frank on 95.5 KLOS and KLOS HD1.
Los Angeles.
Frosty, Heidi, and Frank show. It's 9 o'clock on Thursday. I have to tell you it's Thursday because a lot of people, like 60,
They've lost track.
70% of people, just all the days are running together. So it is Thursday, it's 9 o'clock, and as we teased all morning long, is that we are going to get tested for the antibodies with the COVID-19 serology test. And to help with that, George called yesterday on the show. George, you supply the kits. Is that what you do? When I put out the word, I said, hey, can anybody get me this antibody test?
Yes, I'm a sales rep for a Wellness Matrix Group, and we sell kits to governments all over the world and all throughout the U.S.
And I was saying yesterday, I heard that like some of the kits that are out aren't accurate, but the kit that you're actually selling is the one that everyone's using that's accurate.
Well, accurate is interesting because a lot of times when someone says a false negative, we think, oh, it's a bad kit. But a false negative could be that you took the test today and you got infected today. So if you were infected today, it won't show up on the kit for 3 to 7 days. So the false negative is the kit is accurate, but it's only accurate after you've been infected 3 to 7 days.
Okay, so the test we're taking today is going to determine if we've had contact with coronavirus or we had it before and we got through it and we recovered, right?
It's going to detect if there are antibodies that are present, correct?
And that is Carly Cassidy. She's a nurse practitioner at Vital Life, and so she's going to be administering the test. So is this a blood test?
It is. It's a quick finger stick, yeah.
A quick finger stick? Okay, do you want to?
Yeah.
I'll get my finger over there
You're gonna
first.
be the
Heidi,
one
will
first.
explain
All right.
the play-by-play.
Also, I know we're doing this COVID antibody test, but now I see Vital Life is a general internal medicine practice located in West LA with focus on prevention and anti-aging. I'm going to be there. I'll be the first person in line as soon as this quarantine's over. Sounds good to me. All right, so Frank is first up. He's going to get his finger stick. And then this takes, what, from prick to results?
What'd you call me?
Well, you know. How long, George, from the time he gets stuck
The instructions on the kit are 10 to 20 minutes.
Okay.
And I'm going to
That's
bet
amazing.
that we'll get the result in 6.5 minutes or less.
And pretty fast.
Wow. You know your stuff there, George. Tell him if you...
I've watched a few hundred tests.
So yeah, she's
Frank,
pricked my
describe-
finger. It wasn't too bad. I mean, didn't even feel it. But yeah, she's squeezing the blood out of my finger right now into the test.
Going into a little tube? Into
No.
like a...
People have suspected that I may have had it in the past because back in late January, early February, I was sick, ended up turning into pneumonia, very short of breath, everything that all the symptoms
was
are now.
awful, my God.
And then I recovered from it. But I was out of work for 2 weeks. I was off the air because I just couldn't speak, and it was absolutely awful. So people said, "Do you think maybe you had it?" Like, I don't know. So I guess we're going to find out. And it takes, 10 minutes to find out if I have any antibodies?
Yes.
Sweet.
George says he thinks it's going to be about 6.5 minutes. He'll be able
Yeah,
to
I
tell.
didn't guarantee. I
No,
bet.
you didn't.
I bet.
You did.
It
Yeah.
has been
I
pretty.
had to say
pretty
that for my lawyer.
Yeah, I got you. And so explain it, Frank. Not bad at all?
Just prick my finger and taking the little bit of blood. I mean, there's no real needle or anything, just a little. I think it's like what normally if you have diabetes, you check for blood sugar. It's like that little tap.
Or a lot of times if you go to donate blood at the Red Cross in order to find out like your blood type quickly, or if you're anemic, they'll do a little blood test, or a little prick like that. It's easy.
Yeah, at one point after I was sick on the air, a lot of people in the studio, this is quite the workhorse studio. No one really takes a day off. And so to have someone call in and go, I'm not feeling like it today, I can't come in, was pretty, scary.
Yeah, we don't take off.
Eric, I don't think he's ever taken a day off since I've known him in the years we've worked together. How many days you take off?
I took off a couple.
A couple of days. We're all wearing masks right now, so we sound a little bit muffled because we have strangers.
New
the
people in
studio.
here.
Carly Cassidy, she's the nurse practitioner at Vital Life. She's applying the test. And George Tott, who supplies the kits to governments and doctors' offices and agencies, who supplied the kits today. Thank you so much, George. Still waiting for
That's really special,
the
yeah.
time to find out if I have any antibodies. But yeah, then Johnny came down with something that doesn't normally happen.
Yeah, I was told I had an upper respiratory infection, but because they
But that's what
tested me
COVID
for-
is,
I know.
isn't
Yeah, they told me that they tested me for the flu. Didn't have the flu or anything. So
Even Heidi came down with something. I thought she was just hungover again, but
turns out it was something. And I don't take days off either, and I felt so much fatigue and so like I just couldn't even lift my head up off the pillow. This is like a Thursday morning, and I thought normally we can plow through. There was just no way, and I was so sick.
And also Jordan, he also caught something around that same time, or even before me.
I mean, I was in December, but I never really had.
It's interesting. There's a lot of conversation about California around November, October. A lot of people had a really bad flu before anywhere else in the country, but the statistics at that time were just looking at flus, and there are so many deaths and so many sicknesses with immune compromised people. So we weren't really looking for it back then, but the virus was around in October, I believe.
So that's what they're saying in California, this herd immunity.
Well,
that maybe we had a little bit.
Was there, I mean, when you look at numbers, was there a surge in that time of flu deaths that they were just counted as flu death and not corona death?
It's a good question, and hopefully someone's listening that will send me that data. I don't know. I'll look it up.
Yeah, because I guess if they didn't have the answer to what it was, and you went to urgent care and they stuck the swab up your nose, they're like, it's either A or B, and if it came back nothing, I mean, what's to prevent them just treating it like a normal flu because all the symptoms are the same way and go, oh, you have A, and we're going to give you this, and I mean...
Because your son had influenza A and influenza B, right?
A and B.
He got them both.
The other thing we don't know is that if you actually had it, say, in January, you and would have been tested, then you would have showed antibodies. Now it's 2-3 months later, and we don't really know if they'll still show up because some people have been positive, showed antibodies, and then eventually became negative, and a couple months later then show up positive again. In South Korea, they're ahead in the cycle, so no one really knows. I don't know if anyone knows for sure.
Right.
Wow.
So far, we have negative results.
Negative results so far. So I'm still in the game of hide and seek with coronavirus, and I'm winning.
Yeah, we were supposed to set a 10-minute timer.
That's probably been 7 or 8.
We can. What's it been? Eric's the genius on the clock without even having.
He
to
knows
look
when
usually.
we started and we came back.
Yeah, it's been about 6.
About 6 minutes it's been.
Control line.
I think that's...
No, this is control, and these are the 2 antibodies, IgM and IgG.
Right.
Control line means that the test is a valid test, and then either of these 2 show up if there's a present antibody.
Right. But since there's only a control and not the other one, doesn't that mean negative?
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
Negative results,
so far I'm negative as far as the antibodies for coronavirus, so maybe I
Yeah.
just had that
That was about 7 minutes.
bad flu. 7 minutes. How do you want to get your finger pricked to see
Sure.
if you possibly
Of course, yeah.
have it?
You have a
How you do with little
Yeah.
pricks?
Oh, littles, bigs, it doesn't matter. I'm fine either way. Do you have a preference on finger,
I do not.
Carly Cassidy? Okay.
Yeah, Carly Cassidy, she's the nurse practitioner at Vitalife, and we do have Dr. Dominique on the phone. Hello,
Oh, good.
hello, Dr. Dominique.
Hello, everyone. So you are having a party over there.
Yes, it's quite a party. It's the first party I've been to in a long time.
Right.
So listen, that test, we have tested 200 people already in my practice, and it's very useful. We already have quite a few positive patients. I can tell you one of them, he was complaining for weeks of being tired and having a sore throat. And I told him, you are depressed. It's because the stock market is going down. Since January, he had been like that. We tested him. He had huge amount of IgG. Then we tested his nanny. She went positive, very high level of IgG. And then the little kid, the 3-year-old, is positive. So I made a mistake. When I first saw him, you had the flu, and that was late January. So what George was telling you was totally true. That family had been invaded by the virus, and we thought it was the flu, and I talked to him and gave him Tamiflu, and it didn't work. So now we know that the family is protected, and that's going to help them return to work more easily.
So they tested positive for the antibodies.
They tested positive for the antibodies. We had not tested them for the COVID-19 swab because I was puzzled. I didn't even think that was that at that time.
Right.
So now it's telling me, hey, it was in the community earlier on, and that's one example. We had quite a few negative, people who thought they had it and they come back negative. So as George says, either their immunity has gone down in 3 months, or they had mild symptoms, or it was something else, we don't know. But all the patients who had a COVID swab test positive, recently we did retest them for the antibodies like 1 week, 2 weeks later. They came all positive except 2, but we are retesting them, because it might take more time to build your immunity. So there's a direct correlation between a positive swab test and a positive serology test in most of our patients, except these 2 on, I would say, 10 or 12 that turned positive recently.
Wow.
So what George was saying and what you're agreeing with is that I was sick end of January, early February. So now that we're in April, that my antibodies that I might have had if I was exposed to coronavirus might not even be in my system anymore.
Yeah, that's it. We don't know much about that coronavirus. In most cases of viral infection, you keep your antibodies for years, at least months. So we were hoping that would be the same, and now we are seeing some people that get reinfected, even though they were positive with these antibodies, and we see some people who had antibodies and seem to become negative, and other. So it's kind of
Dr. Dominique, have you seen anything else in your whole time as being a doctor? Anything that acts like this, COVID-19?
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. I've been in practice since 1980, so quite a long time. It's the first time that I see such things happening. It's really horrifying, in terms of life that we are losing and people who are having sadness in their family. It's such a terrible moment of our lives here that we are living. I think we can compare that to the Spanish flu in the old days.
The Spanish flu, yeah, right.
Now, the getting tested and finding out you have antibodies then you would request that person go and donate blood to so they could be studied, the antibodies inside. And what is the benefit of having the antibodies, and how can that benefit everybody else?
Well, I love your question. That's really, really interesting, because that's exactly what I'm saying. Some people say, well, what does that mean? These antibodies, what can I do for that? Well, I have been contacted by 2 groups to have my patients go and give their plasma. It seems that for very sick patients in the hospital, we are able now to help recover a little bit more quickly if we can use those antibodies. So there's a group, at UCLA. One of my patients went to give his blood to UCLA. And there's a group, believe it or not, in Ventura County. A very nice group of physicians has put together a plasma donor group that one of my patients is going to contribute probably next week. But we needed to retest him to make sure he was not in active phase of the disease, of course.
Okay, it's been well over 10 minutes now for my test. Does my test still say negative?
Still
I'm
negative.
Still a negative.
Oh.
So I don't have the antibodies. Heidi took her test approximately. How long ago do you think Heidi got her finger pricked?
About three and a half minutes.
3.5 minutes ago.
And
Okay.
it shows negative already.
Still showing negative. Okay, that's good news. Like I said, we're still in the game of hide and seek.
Yeah, all right.
Anyone else?
Let's see. Johnny, you want to get tested? Do you think you had it? Or go ahead and prick Johnny's finger over there. We're gonna do Jordan and Sammy as well, because like I said, we were all sick, and who knows, we all live in different parts of Southern California, so it might be good to see if we can come in contact. Now, I know this, Dr. Dominique, you heard about Apple and Google getting together to create some like a software for healthcare operations to develop an app that would basically ping each other if we came within 6 feet of each other. And let us know in the future that if someone came down with COVID-19, that would alert you to the fact that you came in contact with that person. So we could probably quarantine and isolate more quickly and better in that case. As far as people worried about that, that being a tool that could really do some help, what is your opinion on that?
I think that would definitely help a lot, okay, as long as people are going to contribute, because I think that's going to be a voluntary information that you would give if you were in contact or if you had the virus yourself. So I think Americans are going to be willing to do that. I am French, and I can tell you that in France, no way. Everybody wants to be private. That will never work over there, unfortunately. But in the United States, I think that's going to be a great help if everybody contributes to that.
And I think that it's been said that it would need like 60% of the population to volunteer to do something like that for it to actually be effective and be accurate.
I think you're right. No, this is more an IT question. I'm not really
Yeah.
professional on that, but I think that would be sufficient.
Now, George, I have a question for you. What if, Frank has taken the test, I've so far taken the test, and Johnny's getting tested now. What if we had COVID-19 at the moment? What would show up on that test?
If you were infected in the last couple of days, it might not show up.
Okay.
But if you tested again in a week and you had 2 tests within a week, then you know that you don't have it. 4 times more accurate.
Okay.
Unless that second test a week from now, if you interacted with somebody in the population that you're not quarantined with, then you could be exposed again.
Okay.
So a lot of employer groups are now in conversations. Should we test once a week? Should we test twice a week? There's some big film guy in LA who I think is testing every day when they show up.
Every day.
So, George, you're in the distribution of the actual test kit itself. As far as like the number of kits that are being produced, the number that you have to even distribute to government agencies and medical facilities and hospitals, what numbers are we looking at, and how long does it take to build one of these kits?
There are about 20 factories. Some of them have a lot better quality control. Premium has U.S. engineers watching every 100% quality control, and then even they watch what gets put in the boxes at night until they get shipped and everything. And they can, of good quality control tests, you could probably have 100 million tests in the U.S. in the next 30 days.
100 million tests.
100 million tests, but it seems like
days.
if you take one test and it reads one way, you might have to take a test again to determine if it was absolutely accurate or not. Maybe even take another test. So like
that's one supplier. So
that's one.
So let's say California. I don't know what the population is. 40 million. California could test everyone every week for the next 6 months. And there's enough capacity for that.
All right, and I think that's what they say. We need the testing to actually get us to a point where we can start slowly opening things up. Obviously, social distancing things would stay in effect, maybe wearing a mask. Restaurants wouldn't be having as many seats available, but to get the economy slowly getting back together.
And volumes are increasing. Like the disinfectant that we have, that's a 28-day disinfectant. So if you sprayed this studio, it would stop the protein anywhere that it landed immediately. And when this happened, they were producing 50,000 gallons a day. They're now at 1.2 million gallons a day. Same with the test kits. They were doing 20,000. They're now at close to 1 million a day.
Now, as far as this 28-day disinfectant, is it come in an aerosol can, or is it like a bug bomb where you set it off and then you come back in a couple hours and the whole thing's been disinfected?
You can spray it.
Spray it on.
Yeah,
directly.
It can get on your hands or clothes or whatever. In fact, it's almost like a Scotch Guard adherence. You can spray your clothes or your sheets
before you go out into the world, even.
And wash them, and it stays still for 28 days, even if you wash it every day.
That's incredible. Is that on the market for like regular people to buy?
Yes, yeah. That's produced in the U.S.
Okay. Wow.
Is there a certain name for that stuff? Like, if people want to look it up?
Yeah, Meditech.
Meditech is the name of that stuff. Wow. Dr. Dominique on the phone with us. She's from Vitalife MD. George is a supplier of the kits for Dr. Dominique. And how many patients have you said that you've tested so far, Doctor?
So 180 exactly, and we have already, I would say, 30 on the list for next week.
And you obviously serve patients from all over Southern California. So of the ones that were testing positive, was that a specific area of LA that you got more patients that were positive from?
That's very interesting. The population that we tested was mostly in West LA, Santa Monica, some from Orange County or the South Bay. So that's my clientele mostly. So that's really where we have most of the data. I can also tell you, and it's really not confidential, I won't say her name, but one of our employees had symptoms, and I asked her to stay home. I was kind of suspicious. We tested her with the COVID test, this swab. She came back positive for the swab. She was in quarantine for 2 weeks. And then before she came back, we tested her. She was negative for the swab, and she was now positive with the IgG. The whole family, the nanny, had some similar symptoms. They were not tested, but I think when it's in the family, it diffuses very, very quickly. And she lives in, downtown LA, more in that side of the city, so it's everywhere, So most of our clientele, as I say, is in West LA and Brentwood, these areas, but we can have it everywhere in the region.
Now we have Johnny. He took a test. How long has it been, George? Did you keep track of how long it's been? For
5 minutes.
5 minutes for Johnny to see if
Heidi,
he's
are you still negative, Heidi? On
Am I still
yours?
negative?
I was negative.
Yes, negative.
Heidi's
negative.
still negative, so we have not been in contact with it, or we just don't have the antibodies in our system.
This is like when my wife took a pregnancy test. And I'm like, my heart's beating the exact same way.
Johnny, you're not pregnant.
You're not pregnant. You're negative.
I think Sammy might be worried about that one.
We've done 3 negative pricks so far.
3 negative.
Yeah, we've been
pricks so
called
far.
worse.
Only a couple more pricks to go.
Sammy got hers done already.
Sammy, I noticed you were looking away from your finger while she was taking your blood. Do you have an issue with that?
Yeah, I never look. I'm fine as long as I don't look at the needle go into the skin.
Did you feel the prick in your finger?
No, I didn't, which I thought I was. It's probably
It's
changed
really,
since when
I didn't
was a
even know it
kid.
happened either.
But when I was a
That's
kid,
my
I remember it
fault.
really hurting. It was worse than shots, the finger prick, and I didn't even feel it this time. So
Now, as far as like this particular test, there's the blood test, but there's also like a swab test as well, like the normal flu test for coronavirus.
A nasal swab.
A nasal swab?
There's a nasal swab and an oropharyngeal swab. That's to detect the virus, the active virus. So it detects the virus RNA. Different test.
And the drive-through or the testing sites around Los Angeles, are they doing both of these tests, or are they just doing this nasal swab?
The majority of those testing sites are doing the nasal swab or oropharyngeal swab to test for active viral RNA. So if the virus was active in a person. I do know that Stanford had purchased this test and was using it in a study where I believe they were doing both as well.
Okay.
So, and I'm hoping, I don't know exactly where, they can just go and get this. Can they just go to VitaLife MD and schedule an appointment to get tested if they think they had it? Because you have this particular test?
Yes, correct. We're testing patients currently. So you could contact VitaLife. We are completing home visits to test in patients' homes. If they were recently exposed or thought that they recently had symptoms, we're asking them not to come into the office.
Of course, yeah.
If it's been months, you thought you were sick back in January, February, we're allowing patients to come in for testing in the office for that.
Okay, that's VitaLife MD with Carly Cassidy here. She's the nurse practitioner who applied the test for us.
Maybe put some info on our website, not on our Twitter.
Yeah.
People can find
we can
you guys.
do that and push it out for you.
Yeah.
Also, Dr. Dominique. Thank you so much, Dr. Dominique, for joining us on the show today.
Very informative, doctor.
Thank you so much for having us. We are able to help people, and we need people like you to diffuse the information. Otherwise, we stay in our corner and nobody comes to us. But we are here to help, and anybody that wants to come, we will have them.
Thank you so much, Dr. Dominique. Again, VitaLife MD. And so we'll put all the information, how to connect with them and how to call, maybe get a home kit, have somebody come out to your house and apply it. And I heard yesterday on Mayor Garcetti's address that if you think you have the symptoms, don't wait till they get really, really bad. Go ahead and get the test early so you can quarantine early before you start walking around and doing things for an extra few days. And I heard sometimes that people are asymptomatic and they have it. So obviously they wouldn't even know to get tested if they're not showing anything. Does that mean they're not showing a fever or anything?
Correct.
But they get tested because maybe their wife or husband has it or a coworker tested positive.
Yes. Yeah.
That is so bizarre to me how it can kill one person. Another person's like, nah, got it, but I don't really feel it. It's bizarre
I think that's
to
the
me.
million-dollar question, Heidi. Why is it going after certain groups?
Other people have no symptoms. Other people die. It's within days sometimes.
Yeah.
It's
I mean,
so
we do
bizarre.
know that comorbidities factor into that, and so there's a lot of things that are being looked at right now with regard to hypertension and diabetes, and the fact that those are the people that seem
Other
to be,
underlying health issues.
right? Other comorbidities, correct?
Okay. And some of the elderly too.
I wanted to clarify one thing. It's not a home test kit.
That's
It's a home. You can have a home visit by a
professional.
Correct.
Yeah, this is not like
Like Carly Cassidy.
like a home pregnancy test. They will come to your house. But I think they were doing that in Germany too. I think that's how they if someone thought they had it, they would actually have they were called them COVID taxis, where they would drive to the people's homes, and if they had it, they would treat them at their house and not even put them in a hospital. It's
So they weren't spreading
they were
it.
going around and being treated on a daily basis, but it was just almost like they would come to your house and treat you. And I heard that Germany may be opening up earlier than anybody else. The largest economy in Europe might be. Schools say might open up by May 4th.
Yeah, there are several other countries that they allow the kit to be a home test. It's been approved. I think the UK distributed through Amazon to the home, and Germany allows home testing. So the same test could be done at home based on the regulations.
So yeah, if you have any kind of symptoms or somebody you know or come in contact with has had symptoms, then maybe get that test done so we can collect that data and maybe get back to normal a little bit faster and know how to treat this next time something like this happens, which there will be definitely next time. Yeah.
Do we have Johnny and Sammy's results yet?
Negative for Johnny and negative for Sammy.
All right.
Wow. That's kind of surprising to
Eric's
me.
going to take his, I guess, during the break. Eric and Jordan will get their fingers pricked, and we'll find out if they have been exposed to COVID-19. Looking for the antibodies in the serology test. But thank you again, George, for calling up yesterday and answering the call to give us a test.
United Arab Emirates actually announced today that they're using the test for each passenger to open up the airlines. You'll actually get tested at the airport, 10-minute results, and then you get on the flight.
It's a new world we live in
today.
Yeah.
That's what it's going to be. And Carly Cassidy, thank you so much, nurse practitioner who applied the test for us. And
Vitalife MD.
To Dr. Dominique Braden-Reed from Vitalife MD. Thank you so much. And we'll put the information on our website, FHFshow.com. And we'll put it out on our social media as well if you would like to get tested. All right, we're going to take a quick break. We're staying all the way to 10 o'clock. So keep it right here. We're Frosty, Heidi, and Frank.
Now, Sports on Tap on 95.5 KLOS.
Good news from the PGA Tour as they have a plan in place to return to action June 11th in Fort Worth for the Charles Schwab. And on this day in sports history, many people have run around the streets of Boston just to say they did it. And on this day, 1929, the Yankees become the first team to put numbers on the back of their uniforms. But of course, no names, joining the Red Sox and Giants as the only teams to still not have names on the back of their home jerseys. Dodgers went down that road briefly, but then came to their senses. I'm Pete Fox at Sports on Tap on 95.5 KLOS, Southern California's rock station.
1-877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids.
Donate your car today with 1-877 Cars for Kids. We're a recognized 501c3 charity organization, so you'll receive a maximum tax deduction. What's more, you'll receive a vacation voucher of 3 days and 2 nights. Also on the web at carsforkids.com.
1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Remember, that's cars with a K.
Stop what you're doing for a moment, because I've been asked to explain a simple yet powerful program that's completely new in California. If you have a paid off or nearly paid off car, Choice Cash is a new way to borrow up to $10,000 with no hidden fees. By using your paid off or nearly paid off car, you can get the funds you need within 24 hours. In a bind and need money right away? Call 1-800-453-CASH for quick and easy approval right over the phone. We'll even tell you how you can have your Choice Cash payments lowered each month. So if you need emergency cash right away, call 1-800-453-CASH to get $2,500 to $20,000. Call 1-800-453-CASH. That's 1-800-453-CASH.
All loan applications are subject to meeting Capital Community Bank's credit criteria, which includes providing acceptable property as collateral. Customers need to demonstrate ability to repay the loan. Not all applicants are approved. Capital Community Bank member FDIC.
KLOS listener Jason said yes. So Jason, tell us what you said yes to.
I said yes to AIS, and so should you.
I got you. Sounds like you saved a bundle on your car insurance.
I'm Jason, and when I found out I saved $760 through AIS, I just hopped out my car and did a gainer right there in the streets.
A gainer, it's that breakdown smooth?
Yeah.
Look, you don't need to be able to do a gainer to save on your car insurance. You just need to say yes to AIS. Jason, what should we all do?
Get off the couch, pick up the phone, and call AIS.
1-800-777-4AIS. Have you been lied to by Washington politicians and the Wall Street propaganda machine? Hi, I'm Inc. magazine best-selling author Brett Kitchen. And if you're over 55 with an IRA or 401k, I want to give you a free copy of my new book, Wealth Beyond Wall Street, because according to Time magazine, Wall Street's 401ks have failed millions of Americans. After losing 35% in my IRA in the crash years ago, I said enough. And since then, I discovered a way to grow money potential double digits, reduce taxes dramatically, and also have my money protected when the next stock market crash hits. When the next market crash hits, you lose nothing. Call Wealth Beyond Wall Street now to get your free book and talk to a specialist to discover this little-known strategy to get potential double-digit growth during good years and never lose in the next market crash. Call 800-249-8686 to discover this asset that people like Walt Disney and J.C. Penney use to grow wealthy. Plus, get one of just 97 free books left. We even cover shipping and handling, no credit card required. Call 800-249-8686. 1-800-249-8686. That's 1-800-249-8686.
To our Ralph's associates, for the long hours and late nights, for the miles traveled and the shelves restocked, for making a difference in our customers' lives. Everyone at the Kroger family of brands and our customers say thank you. Ralph's, fresh for everyone.
Ralph's is now hiring, with immediate openings available to help keep our stores open and stocked. Apply today at jobs.ralphs.com.
This day in rock 1964, it's the British birthday of the Rolling Stones' first album ever. It went to #1 2 weeks later and was the first non-Beatles album to reach the top in over a year.
With an Allstate agent, you get a local expert and help finding the best coverage for you. And because they live in your community, you can always count on them to be there when you need them most. Plus, when you bundle home and auto, you can save. So call your local Allstate agent today. Are you in good hands?
This Day in Rock sponsored by Allstate.
Hang on. Frosty, Heidi, and Frank
are back.
Right here! Right here! Right now! Right now!
On Southern California's rock station, 95.5 KLOS.
The Frosty, Heidi, and Frank show. So during that little break, Eric and Jordan got their test. We're taking the COVID-19 serology test that helps determine if you have antibodies in your system. This means you had it in the past. Maybe you recovered from it. A lot of people suspected that maybe I had it back in January when I took 2 weeks off with pneumonia. And I have no antibodies in my system, so I tested negative. Heidi also tested negative.
I did, negative.
Because, I was suspected to be like patient zero. We all took some days off earlier in the year, and there was a theory that it had reached California and that a lot of people are getting infected. And
that herd immunity.
Yeah, maybe that's why it helped flatten the curve, because a lot of people already had the antibodies. And now if you do find out that you have it, you can donate your plasma, and they can work with that and maybe work towards a vaccine or whatever that might be to help us get all back to normal. Marcy Weiser was in here too. Marcy got her test done, so we'll find out if any of us have any antibodies in our system. And in the meantime, George, I want to ask you, you talked about this 28-day disinfectant to spray. It's like a Scotch Guard that you spray it on your clothes.
Is it Meditech? Is that what?
And what's the name of that spray again, George?
Meditech.
Meditech. And if somebody wants to get some of this Meditech spray, how do they get it?
Wellness Matrix Group will have it on their website. It actually just arrived today at our bottling company in Oxnard.
Okay.
So in the next 3 days.
Next 3 days. So Wellness Meditech is what it's called. So look that up.
That stuff sounds amazing. We need that right now.
Yeah, definitely. You can send us a couple bottles, George, once you get it all bottled up in Oxnard.
I will. You can spray each other.
Now, you mentioned something, too, during the break. You said you were surprised at not letting surfers surf out in the ocean because you said that saltwater, the virus cannot live on you in saltwater.
Well, certainly one person out surfing by themselves doesn't seem to be much of a risk. But
right.
Being from Malibu, I kind of,
I think if you can't let anybody have fun if nobody can have fun.
Right. We all have to be able to have fun or nobody can have fun.
It's like,
I see.
Why close down, my fun when you're letting him have his fun? Or, so it's like, I think that's what it is. It's to keep us all inside, to keep us safe. And hopefully you keep doing what you're doing. I know we're all getting a little bit stir crazy, but we don't want to go back to square one. This might be something, like I said, in the near future. I told you Germany, Europe's largest economy, is ready to emerge from hibernation. German Chancellor Angela Merkel said that the country will begin to slowly ease lockdown restrictions. Some shops can open next week. Schools return starting May 4th. So the country has suffered more than 3,000 reported COVID-19 deaths. And says this won't be your Germany of 2019. So it won't be the America or Southern California of 2019 either. The businesses that open will have to follow strict social distancing and hygiene precautions. Germans are strongly encouraged to wear face masks when riding public transportation or going shopping. So wearing the face mask will become a thing. So I do have to get a nicer one than this.
Yeah, exactly.
And large public gatherings are still banned in Germany until August 31st. So, zoom out a little bit. Europe is beginning to recover. Spain's construction and manufacturing workers are back in action, as are many stores in Austria and some even in Italy. Kids under 11 are going back to school in Denmark. So
it's like baby steps. Little by little, we'll get
as it
back
was going
to it.
this way, we're seeing, where it's been and how they're recovering. So as long as we keep doing what we're doing, then we will be on that same track as well. Let's not get out there and be over exuberant.
Not too soon.
You still got to be precautious when they say, "Okay, we're starting opening businesses." It's not time to. It's not Mardi Gras.
No. Speaking of that, I saw that. Did you see the streets in New Orleans? I mean, pristine, just gorgeous, just sort of like the canals in Venice. It's like so crystal clear. You can see the fish. It's just proof that humans are trashing the world.
If you are worried about money and haven't done this yet, get on it, because your chances of getting a yes are pretty good. LendingTree.com, I know it's always been a sponsor of the show and the station, found almost all financial institutions are offering breaks on credit cards and mortgage payments right now.
Nice.
And over 90% of people who've asked for help have gotten it. 90%.
Okay.
91% of people who've asked for a break on their credit card payments have been approved, and 91% of homeowners who've asked for a little pause in their mortgage payments have also had success. So, and it says young people are more likely to get a yes right now on a break. And as far as asking for help, it's always the joke that guys don't ever want to ask for help because, well, we can do it, we can find it.
Right.
We're gonna stop and ask.
Let's pull over and ask. Come on.
That old cliche. 18% of people who hadn't asked for help said they didn't realize it was an option, and women were twice as likely as men to say that they haven't asked for help yet. Oh, yeah, that's a little. That's
I
opposite.
can do it myself.
Yeah, I got this.
Yes. I don't need any help.
After the women's movement, you
That's right.
don't want to ask for help anymore. But no, ladies ask for help. I mean,
We should all ask. Don't be too proud right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're in this together.
If you need it, if you really need it. I mean, those small business loans, $300 and some $50 billion of small business loans, gone. It's already tapped. So, yeah.
That happened quickly.
That did happen quickly.
Mm-hmm.
So.
By the way, I saw a headline that just said 42 new deaths in L.A. County today.
42?
Yeah.
I saw this, some hacks to make your groceries stay fresh for longer. Oh, look. Oh,
Otto's got his test too?
Yep.
The big CEO of the company.
Negative?
Negative so far as well.
And Marcy?
Marcy's a negative and Eric is a negative.
All right, so basically it's been none of us have been exposed to it.
So we've done a good job here.
We've done a good job. What's the state of the union, Otto? Looking good?
Looking great. Looking great. You guys are doing a great job.
Thank you.
I can't complain. I
Doing
mean,
our best.
I hear you guys every morning. The information we're putting out is important. And what we're doing right here is important because this is the shape of things to come. And you better get a nicer mask.
I know.
That's all I'm saying.
Seriously, this is.
I mean, it just looks like you just.
I know.
Yep.
Yeah. We got to get some designer masks
I got to
on
get
board.
the bedazzler out or something. Put some rhinestones.
Heidi's doing a good job. I mean,
Yeah, well, I'm
not.
matching
I know you really came to play.
Yeah.
You look like a ninja. Sexy ninja.
All I'm saying is that if she would have come to me like 6 months ago and with that mask, I would have thought she was, she was holding me up for a raise.
Exactly.
That may happen here in a few
I was
months.
telling George with his mask, you can't go to the bank with that thing on. That's like the bank robber mask.
Well, but it goes with his little ponytail.
That's right. He's a hippie from Malibu.
Yeah,
Come
it
on.
fits well. It fits well.
Actually, I've been going to the bank every day now.
Oh, I bet you have.
I bet you have, but those kids.
Thanks a lot for
Nice.
Yeah, thank you guys.
You guys, thank you
so
so
much for coming in.
Jerry
Again,
Garcia mask.
definitely. You know what I'm talking about. Vitalife MD is where they're testing right now. That's where Carly Cassidy works. She's a nurse practitioner at Vitalife, and then Dr. Dominique is the doctor over there.
I just started following on Instagram, so new fan.
So, yeah, if you are looking to get a test, if you think you have symptoms, then go ahead and go to Vitalife MD. They have some tests, and they can test you. And they can actually come to your house and test you as well. So, We'll put that up on the website,
Yeah, make sure you check in.
FHFshow.com.